Hello everyone, in this lecture we will be discussing the rest of our geography syllabus. So at first we have important geophysical phenomena. In this we have various phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunamis, cyclones, polar vortex, thunderstorm, etc. Now for each of these phenomena you should know how do they occur, why do they occur, what are their features, and along with a diagram should be prepared by you for each of these features. Now what I mean by diagram is that suppose I have prepared this diagram for cyclone. So this diagram is simple, but at the same time this is effective. It wants to convey what I want to say, and at bottom I will write FIG figure, and in this I will write cyclone. So like this you have to prepare each and every diagram in a brief and lucid manner which can be drawn in 15 to 20 seconds. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on. Now we have geographical features and their location. In this we have distribution and classification of mountain ranges, that how are mountain ranges distributed across the world. Say I have Rockies in North America, then going south I have Andes, then in Europe I have Alps, then in Asia I have Himalayas. So this is how they are distributed. And what are their classification? The classification of mountain ranges can be that they are fold mountains or they are block mountains. This is one of the classification. Similarly for plateaus and deserts. In deserts what are the classification can be? There can be tropical deserts, and then we have temperate deserts. So this is how you have to study. Then in pressure belts, you should know about the diagram of pressure belt. Like see, if this is the globe, so we have various pressure belts across our globe. And due to these pressure belts, we have movement of wind. Okay, these pressure belts give birth to winds. So we should know about this. Then what are the wind patterns and what are the types of wind? In types of winds, we have primary, secondary and tertiary. So you should know about their definition and their examples. Then we have various erosional and depositional features around the world. You should have a brief overview of this topic and you should know the important features such as we have karst topography, then we have Grand Canyon which is formed due to Colorado River. These are the important features that you should know. Then we have oceanic geography. In this we have atoll, trenches, continental shelf, okay, continental rise or continental slope. Then we have mid-oceanic ridges. So you should have a knowledge of oceanic geography along with its diagram. Then we have distribution of key natural resources across the world. In this we have India and South Asia, where ferrous and non-ferrous minerals are located in India. Coal, oil and gas, renewable and oceanic resources are located in India. Should be known to you in a form of map or in a pictographical manner. Say suppose this is a map of India. So I will say that here in Digboi, Assam, oil is found. Here in Chota Nagpur, coal is found. Here in Bailadila Hills, bauxite is found. So you should know about the distribution of natural resources in India. And similarly for world also, you should know where ferrous and non-ferrous, coal, oil and gas, renewable, oceanic resources are found. And you should also keep a tab on new and emerging resources such as lithium nowadays is becoming more and more important mineral. Then we have factors responsible for the location of industries. In this we have classification of industries, how are industries classified, primary, secondary, tertiary. Then we have labor intensive and capital intensive. These are some of the classifications. Then we have location and distribution of industries on the basis of what factors affect the location and distribution of industries. We have raw material, labor, market, capital, land. Then we have grants and financial incentives by the government. This also affects the location. And at last we have power, transport, water and communication. This factor also affects the location. Then we have distribution of major industries. In this we have iron and steel, IT, cotton and various other major industries. So you should know how they are distributed across India in form of a map. You should have a map which tells you where these industries are located. Then we have agglomeration. What is the definition of agglomeration and why some industries are agglomerated? You should know the reason. Some of the reason is forward and backward linkages. Then we have government incentives. Then we have skilled labor. Then we have economies of scale. These are some of the reasons for agglomeration. Then in footloose industries, you should know the definition of footloose industries, what are their features, and which industries are classified as footloose industries. Then in human geography, we have population, What are the factors that influence the distribution of population? Geographical, economical, social, cultural, etc. Then in migration, you should know the definition of migration and what are the push and pull factors due to which migration takes place. Then in demography and demographic transition, you should know the definition of demography and how demographic transition is taking place in India. That India is becoming more and more old nowadays. And what are the population control measures we have taken or we can take in future. Then in population composition, you should know the age sex pyramid of India, something on these lines. Okay, that this much are female, this much are male, the age and sex pyramid. Then we have rural and urban divide. How many are there in rural? How many there are in urban areas? Then what is the literacy rate of our population? What is the occupational structure? In occupational structure, we have primary, secondary, tertiary occupations. Then we have formal and informal occupation. Then we have permanent, seasonal, this kinds of occupational. This is the occupational structure. Then we have human development. In this, we have 4 pillars of human development: equity, sustainability, productivity, and empowerment. And what are the various approaches to human development, and you should know about ADI index in brief. Then we have various sectors in the economy: primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, and what factors determine the location of industries. We have earlier discussed, like land, labor, capital, government schemes, etc. Then you should have a brief overview of transport, communications, and international trade. And we have human settlement. What are the classification? Classification can be urban or rural. What are its type and what are its pattern? Pattern can be circular, linear, grid shape, etc. Then we have environmental geography. In this, we have examples of changing geographical phenomena such as melting of ice sheet, desertification, deforestation. So you should know the definition of each one of them, why are they occurring in the first place, and how to mitigate them. This should be known to you, along with their diagrams if possible. Then at last, we have environmental hazards or environmental geography. In environmental hazards, we have urban heat islands, okay, urban floods, flash floods, mangroves, wetlands, coral bleaching, landslides, etc. So this is now becoming more and more important with respect to geography. You will see that every year in environmental hazards, you are getting a question either from urban heat island, urban flood, flash floods. So for each of these topics, you should know why do they occur, what are their features, okay, and what steps can be taken to avoid them or to mitigate them. So, and you should also know about their diagram. So this more or less concludes our GS1 geography syllabus discussion. Thank you.